with a dad bod god. Just kind of like
the blood fighter Alex Cologne, and you.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Everybody, it's the epitome of style with the smile, the human hype machine, and co-host of Oh You Didn't Know, Ryan Katz. And
Well, this is your boy OG Kevin Gill from the legendary and revolutionary Game Changer Wrestling crew. You were watching Drinking at Moe's. Drink it.
All right, everybody, welcome to my 2 cents. So this will be the last of the little more serious ones. You know, we recently had the loss of Twitch, the DJ at the Ellen show, and Jason David Frank, guy that played the Green Ranger, both to suicide. And I like to keep my 2 cents to wrestling related topics, but this one very important to me because there is also the statistic of 22 veterans a day taking their own life. So mental health is a very important subject to me. Now, like I said, I like to keep it wrestling related. You know, Ellen show with Twitch, there have been wrestlers on there. You know, they've had The Rock, you know, John Cena, you know, pretty big names in their own right there. And Jason David Frank, there have been, you know, at least attempts to be having him in matches. You know, there was that one that was going to happen with Ethan Page. Big fan of his, by the way. Go check out his toy hunt vlogs, very entertaining. And then, you know, there's also been little interactions that he's had with the likes of, you know, the New Day and other WWE superstars. So, you know, wrestling related anyways. But, you know, mental health, you know, like I said, veteran with that statistic in pro wrestling, there have been notable wrestlers that have committed suicide, taken their own life. You know, there was Kanyon, a very notable one, very well respected one, even though, you know, they had that Dark Side of the Ring episode, you know, said that, you know, he might not have necessarily known that he had the support that he did. And, you know, the mental health things that he was going through, you know, kind of playing tricks on his mind, which, you know, that's one thing when it comes to depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. They play tricks on your head. And, you know, with veterans and, you know, coming back from the military, there's oftentimes there's that struggle with reintegrating back into things when we get back after, you know, being gone for 4 or more years. And, you know, that's not necessarily easy to just, air quotes, forget that part of us, because it was our lives for however long you were enlisted. And, you know, it might be hard because, you know, you think that person that you were before you enlisted is basically gone. You know, me, the guy that I was before I enlisted, gone. You know, the guy that I was before I enlisted wouldn't have started the podcast, wouldn't have started the YouTube channel, wouldn't have been able to talk at all about any of it because, you know, too damn shy. And, you know, now I've become very passionate about these things. So I want to, you know, use the growing platform that I've been able to build up to, different times to be able to, bring attention to things like mental health. And, men's mental health, we often get told, when we're going through difficult things, got to be strong, got to, not really asking for help, be a man, as a lot is said about that. Now, me, myself, those that know me, those that have met me through the podcast, those former guests know about some of the struggles that I've had, even just relatively recently with the loss of my two little girls that my wife and I were expecting. Something that I still struggle with to this day. As of recording of this, I am recording the day after Christmas. I was supposed to be celebrating their first Christmas, and that was a tough experience not getting to do that. And, shortly after that, the car accident, and shortly after that, losing my dog, it was a very tough time. But this also leads into a thing with, things that veterans struggle with, is I had a good group. I had a good support group that I have met through pro wrestling, through, my family and everything, that oftentimes when veterans come back, they don't have. And that group that I met has helped me through the stuff recently. God bless my wife. She's been amazing through all of it. And, the struggles that, she even has, because she was the one that carried those two little ones. It's got to be hard. And I can't even imagine, me, those are my two little girls. I wanted to be able to do everything for them. But anyways, leading into, I had that group. So that definitely helped. And that is one thing that will help, if you just keep reminding those that you love that might be going through some struggles, that, you are there. They might feel alone, but they're not. And that also leads into things, with the depression, anxiety kind of playing tricks on you. You might feel alone. You might feel like this or that is, out to get you. And, you don't got anywhere to turn. And through stories that, through the dark side of the ring that came out about Kanyon and the struggles that he had, having to feel like he had to remain in the closet. And I can't even imagine, because, the struggles, having to feel like you have to hide a part of yourself, that's got to be tough. And, there have been, people recently that, they come out as gay, bi, trans, whatever it might be. And people are all like, the way that I'm hoping that, we can get more and more people as time goes on. There's like, oh, okay. Are you happy? And all right, so be it. As long as a person's happy and they aren't hurting anybody, who gives a shit, As don't want to say that you don't give a shit about the person, but you don't care whether they're gay, bi, trans, whatever religion, as long as you both respect each other and you both have that genuine love for each other, who cares, And the other thing that leads into, a lot of the things that, it still goes on to this day with people that might have come out of the closet and, anywhere really, doesn't have to be in the LGBTQ community, the subject of cyberbullying. I've been open that, when I have gone through bullying stuff growing up, and back when I was growing up, might be dating myself, but, bullying tended to only really happen at school because the internet hadn't really been a thing. It wasn't really a thing until I was in like middle school, high school, somewhere in there. I don't fucking remember. But, it stopped there. There might have been a few incidences here or there, but usually once you got home, it was done. And that with the internet seems, it has pretty much gone away. People can still bully you online, and that, like, unless you just don't hop on a computer, hop on your phone, not really a way to get rid of that. You might be able to, it's a little easier said than done to just ignore it. You can try your best, stuff happens. And the thing that comes about is the story of, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing a name here, but Hana Kimura, the female talent out of Japan. Very up and coming, very great talent. And she had taken her own life back in, I believe it was 2020. And by all means, correct me if I'm wrong. Leave it in the comments. Give me a correct date if I'm wrong. But she had gone through some cyberbullying for whatever it was, and had taken her own life. And when it comes to cyberbullying, people online, people share their passions. Me, I'm sharing my passion with pro wrestling, with the podcast, with the interviews, with my 2 cents, and with the documenting and shit stuff for YouTube. And people are sharing their passions. And there was a saying that I saw recently that really fits in here. Is never make fun of somebody's passion, as that might be the thing that saves them from the world. And it very much fits because, sometimes that thing that they're passionate about is indeed what can, be their release, their escape from cyberbullying, from bullying in general, from whatever things might be getting them depressed or anxious, And if that's what's helping them, if that's that passion for whatever subject it might be, whether it be pro wrestling, video games, action figure collecting, football, baseball, whatever it might be, celebrate that passion with them. If you aren't necessarily as excited about it as they are, be like, hey, I can see you're passionate about it. That's awesome. And this all leading into my hopes for the new year. We're leading into New Year's coming up here very soon, here just a few days. And, I can only hope that in this new year, we can at least make our way towards removing the stigma about talking about mental health, because that is the thing, is it is very much stigmatized. I don't even know if that's a word, but there is that stigma about talking about mental health. That as much as I applaud, promotions like AEW that ran those PSAs during Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, that, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to ask for help. But to remove the stigmas behind asking for help, that just because you ask for help for a mental health issue doesn't mean you're going to go to a mental hospital. Because I swear, I feel like that's what a lot of people attach to that. You're asking for help with a mental health issue. Oh, you're going to go to a mental health hospital, which that's not the case. Obviously there are those cases, but it's generally not the case. And I feel like if we can go towards removing that stigma, it will go a long ways towards people being more open to talking about it, not just with a mental health professional, with therapists or whatever it might be, or whatever religion you are following. We need to be able to do that, because it is just something that unless we do it, we're still going to have these issues. And I can only hope that we can at least just make way towards making that happen, and that we can at the very least lower the number of veterans that take their own lives, that we can, hopefully eventually eliminate it altogether. Let those veterans in your life know that they're appreciated, they're celebrated, and let the people know that the people that know that you are there for them, that you care, that they're not alone in whatever they're going through. And I've had people that I have served with, that I've worked with, that have been veterans that have fortunately been a part of that statistic, and it pains me. And I really hope that even in this more serious subject, that people can see my passion for bringing awareness for mental health issues, bringing awareness to the people that I interview, whether it be an up and coming wrestler, ring announcer, other people that are involved, because you don't have to be a wrestler to be involved in wrestling. I just want my passion to come across, and I hope that it has. I hope that you enjoy the future interviews I got coming up. And, like I said, this will be coming out before the new year. I hope that everybody has a good new year, and just enjoy yourselves. Have a good holiday. Have a safe holiday. Let's go into the new year having fun. Let's fucking go.